So, what did you miss at Jubilee today? Well, you missed an intimate service. Intimate because I think snow and ice sort of kept some folk away. So we were, I don't know, 120 people today. But intimate because of the way the service came together. We started by hearing from the prophet Isaiah, and in it an image of God is revealed, of a God who sits above the circle of the earth, a flat earth indeed. Um, a God who cares not about princes, whose power exceeds anything we can imagine on earth, but a God who lifts the weak and gives strength to the faint and is with the weary, allowing them to run and not faint. Um, it's a beautiful passage. And then we went on to hear from Mark's gospel and the story of Jesus coming to Simon Peter's mother-in-law's house and healing Simon Peter's mother-in-law, and the lineups of people coming to be healed of demons, of illness, of all manner of things. And Jesus taking some time to get away, actually. Um, and when found, uh, his his disciples wonder, where are you? Where are you? What are you doing? People have been waiting for you. And he lets them know that it's time to move on, to share with other communities. And so today Etienne preached. And Etienne preached on healing and our expectations of healers. And he spoke of a well-known frustration, but exampled by his father, who goes to the emerge at the local hospital and after 12 hours is angry that the doctor will do nothing for him, that he wants an antibiotic that the doctor has diagnosed won't really do what he wants it to do, and so essentially the doctor has done nothing, and he is angry at the doctor for not healing him. And Etienne talked about those people coming to Jesus wanting to be healed, and the lineups, and the people expecting Jesus to heal them, his own followers expecting that Jesus would heal them. And then Etienne told us of his own desires as a child to be healed, thinking that if God really loved him, that God would give him new legs, that God would fix his legs, sprout new ones, that he could run, walk, be with everybody else and not be held back. And how as he grew, he began to understand that that's really not the healing that God needs to be involved in only. And he talked about even being in Jerusalem a year ago and in the Holy Land and that area, and being with those who wanted for him to be healed, and how that bothered him, that theology, that narrow understanding of God. And he invited us to imagine that every time we think that a healer is full of it, choose your own, that we should recognize that sometimes we have unreasonable expectations of healers, and that we should realize that instead of the healer being full of it, we should recognize that we are full of God. And that's the healing that Jesus brings. To recognize that, help us recognize that God is present, that we are full of God, exactly as we are. And maybe we don't sprout new legs. And maybe we don't get an antibiotic for a virus. And maybe our healing is not exactly what we think it ought to be. But if we were to open our eyes, we might recognize the healing right in front of us. Sometimes the healing is a new way to look at the world or to look at ourselves. Sometimes the healing is the gospel, that God is with us. Etienne said more than that, but that's a little bit of what he said. And we followed that by a beautiful rendition of There is a Balm in Gilead. So beautifully sung, so beautifully played. And we just seem to move quietly into prayer, into the invitation for all of us to silently pray, to pray for healing for ourselves, healing for the world, to pray and to reach out to God as we understand God, whether that's the bearded old man who sits above a flat earth viewing everything, or some more complex, compassionate matrix that binds together the whole universe. However we wish to describe God, that we should recognize that we are companioned, that we are not alone, that when we reach out our hand, there is another to take our hand. And that perhaps is the greatest healing. And so after we prayed, we sang, "Precious Lord, take my hand." And it was very quiet and holy at Jubilee this morning. And we concluded our worship and went out into the world, admonished to not go out into the world empty-handed, but to go out and take the hand of another. Reach out for those hands that need to be touched. Reach out when we need to hold on, and to recognize even when we can't find a hand to hold, there is a hand there, the hand of God. So we went out into the world knowing that we are never alone. That's what you missed at Jubilee today. Hopefully you'll be with us next week. God bless.